Now, let us use a case study with the man in Guinea. You understand? If you do a study of his video, you will understand that there's this self-excitement that comes in his expression, such as proving a point that I am stronger than you imagine. You understand? Oh, you think I'm an old cargo? Let me prove it to you. And in the midst of it, he's hearing the sound of the other lady and he goes like, yeah, that's it right there. I am strong. You understand? Because you will not tell me that as a woman, you have no idea that this guy is doing all these things with any other woman. You understand? For a man that comes with the proposition of let us record ourselves, did you pause to take a moment to say, okay, why is he recording me in the first place? Is it because it's fetish or anything? So this guy is not even involved in whatever sexual moment he's having with these ladies. There is this level of detachment. So he detaches himself from whatever fun he's having with them. If you study the video keenly, and the girls are just the one getting the satisfaction because there seems to be a dare, like I dare you to satisfy me, and the guy goes like, I will satisfy you, but I'm not involved in this. He's not involved with them. In fact, some men are the ones that propose, you understand, some certain level of orgasm, some certain level of, some call it, I can mention it, 2-some, 3-some, 4-some, or whatever some they call it. You understand? And the lady agrees to it. So you are agreeing to it because you feel like you want to make him feel satisfied, but that is going to be his life even after then.
So he's the one that is getting all the satisfaction,
exactly.
Not you.
But when you are trying to catch it, you're trying to catch the feeling, you're trying to key into the feeling, it's not something that happens suddenly.
So there's nothing like love at first sight.
So in my dictionary, it is lust at first sight because something attracted you to that person. Oh, I love that guy's smell. That's you lusting after that. You understand? That smell. There is no point going to one baba to start saying, I want to keep my husband down. No amount of style you learn. If you like, go and give him sex in the ceiling. He will still go out. The women don't also understand the weaker part of themselves. You understand? So you want your ex around. Be careful not to be behind closed doors with your ex, because memories will catch up with you. Time is the craziest thing to leave your secrets with. One day, time will tell. So if one day you find yourself behind closed doors with such a man, you will fall for the memories again.
Welcome to another episode of Insight with Agatha, where you get to share a problem with Auntie Agatha. I want to ask a question. Is any relationship beyond redemption? Well, while you ponder on that, my name remains Agatha.
And I am Moji Alaya. Welcome to the show.
And I'm Lanre Collins. Welcome to the show, and let's have some fun.
Okay, we're going on a short break. When we return, Moji will introduce our guest and the topic. Welcome back from that short break. Moji?
Viewers at home, we have a very thought-provoking issue at hand. But before we talk about the issue, I would like to introduce our guest today. Our special guest, he's a renowned Nollywood actor. He's an award-winning actor, actually. So let me rephrase that. An MC, a host, born and bred in Lagos.
Born, bred, buttered, and carried.
He's known for his creativity and artistic inclination. Maybe you can guess. I want you to guess who this person is. You know Cobra? You know Cobra? In Wura? Then guess, who can it be? Ladies and gentlemen, viewers at home, it is my pleasure to introduce to us today, to welcome him to this episode of Insight with Agatha, the person of Mr. Lanre Adediwura. Drum roll.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. I am quite elated to be here. I feel really great being in the midst of my mothers and, of course, my uncle.
I'm not sure.
So I said uncle because, if you can see, I've decided to reduce my age by 15 to 20. I haven't cut off my beard. So, so
The next time
you get the gist
me,
now.
I'm going to look.
Don't try it. Don't try it. Because, I got home and my son was like, where is my dad?
I know you feel like it's so funny.
So,
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome, sir.
I'm quite happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So this story was sent to us by a guy. He said there's this lady he met in his place of work. They started as friends because of the issues she was having with her education and family. While in her second year at the university, she couldn't continue with her education due to the divorce of her parents. So he decided to take her to see his reverend father. When she saw how affected she was by the experience, particularly her failure to complete her education, the idea was to get the reverend father to speak with her parents on how she can complete her education, to mediate. Unfortunately, the parents were so caught up in their own bitterness, they didn't even consider her interest. Expectedly, she went further into depression, making it impossible for him to actually ignore her. So I'll continue what he wrote. He said, this set the stage for our relationship to develop as we became very close. No day passes by without us either talking on the phone or exchanging visits. He became her comforter. Some people, God give them grace to be lieutenant to Holy Spirit. So he's a comforter. He's a comforter. Right on, bro. Right on. It was too doing well. I'm telling you. It was too difficult for her boyfriend. She get boyfriend though. It was too difficult for her boyfriend to become aware of our fondness for each other. It wasn't too difficult for the boyfriend to become aware of the fondness, our fondness with each other. Eventually called me to terminate my association with his girlfriend. Frankly, his warnings didn't frighten or deter me from pursuing my interest in her. Oh, he don't chop love. All he succeeded in doing was to make me more bold to express my feelings for her. After listening to me, she pleaded for time to consider my offer. More than a year now, she did for relationship. They give her an offer. Good for you. She hasn't given me a clear answer, but from her body language and disposition, we could be said to be in a relationship. Sorry, we could be said to be in a relationship. So last year, she traveled out of my locality because her boyfriend was really apprehensive over losing her to me. She said she took the decision to leave because she didn't want to lose either of us. Or more player. She went further to say she was already in love with both of us. She's in love with both of them. The two of them.
She don't know what to do.
Thank you.
Emma Corino.
She can marry the two of them. But since none of us are ready to let go of her, she wants to stay away for the time. I've been a case now men that they say na player. This girl a real player. She's a real player. Although I'm trying to let go of her, but I simply can't. I love her. I want to know what was so special about the guy. What he has that I don't have. Her answer floored me. According to her, he almost you deflowered her.
It means they've both been.
Please, what do I do since she's my last hope? Worried man. The person who sabi pass.
Oh, she even mentioned that
obviously, it's not just the guy having interest in her. They've started something. They've been into something. For her to have been able to compare
Abi?
Hey, so Tatula was right when he sang that song. I'm in love with two women. I don't know which one to take.
It's remix. I'm in love with two men. I don't know what to do.
But low key, you'll be surprised that there are 1,001 women out there
Yeah.
who, in a way, give those kind of green lights to guys.
Okay.
So I won't outrightly blame the guy. We're not on the topic yet. Let's just be done with this. Then I'll tell you my reservation about it, because I've encountered ladies who find themselves in such entanglement, and they feel like it's the next way of life. You understand? It's the norm.
They're in love with two men.
Not even some. Even it's not about love. Some are lusting against. After
That's the
a particular.
question I even want to ask.
Exactly.
The difference between love and infatuation, especially for people who fall in love easily, like the person who wrote things like that.
Okay, so Praise George wrote a book. I read it some 25, 27 years ago. Love, Lust, or Lies. That's the title.
Yeah.
Love, Lust, or Lies. So as much as love is the greatest of all things, according to the Holy Book, and now these three remains: faith, hope, and love. For the greatest of this is love. Lust, there's a thin line between loving and lusting after something. So sometimes lust actually appears to look like, like love to you. But deep on the inside of you, you know that there is something that is attracting me to this person. I think at the first sight, lust comes to play. You are either lusting after her lips or her body shape. But by the time you guys get closer and you begin to discover certain attributes, then you begin to tell yourself, I think love is beginning to set in. Love at first sight is lust at first sight. Do you understand? So it's either her body shape is what you're lusting after, like
Something attractive.
So that moment of thought is you lusting after that person. But by the time you begin to define what you feel for her via your conversations, engaging with that person, then you begin to say, this is love. But you see, some women have to be smart. Some don't even do it with some new guys. Some do it with their ex. They go like, he's my ex, but I still want to have him around. No. The point is, I'm a man. When a woman gives me attention, you're giving me a green light that someday you can still accept my offer. So if she was truly in love with a man, she wouldn't have kept that guy on the side. Just clearly tell him, oh, I am not interested, I have a relationship. But the fact that you make the guy feel like you might give him a yes tomorrow, that guy will keep pressing, he will keep pushing. We are persistent by nature. The males, because it's a patriarchal society, we feel like the woman will always submit to us no matter what. Let me just push further, let me press on. And most women make that error.
Like men are hunters, really.
Yeah, so
hunters.
they will hunt you. Now, the women don't also understand the weaker part of themselves. You understand? So you want your ex around. Be careful not to be behind closed doors with your ex, because memories will catch up with you. Time is the craziest thing to leave your secret with. One day, time will tell. So if one day you find yourself behind closed doors with such a man, you will fall for the memories again. And that is the problem some women don't really know they are getting themselves into. Like this lady now, she has no idea what she really wants. She's lusting after one of them. She loves one of them. Maybe one has money. She already mentioned it. That Omo Shejuelo, he knows how to do more than you. So there is a lust for fun. There's a lust for intimacy. So there's a lust for sex, because that's exactly what she's deriving from the other guy. Perhaps this other guy is giving more attention, hence she can't leave.
Obviously.
Do you understand? But the other one is always available when she needs. There's a need for him as a man for satisfaction, sexual satisfaction. So I keep telling people, it is easy to lust. It is never easy to love. You understand? At the snap of your finger, you can lust after somebody. But you see, falling in love is not something you will just rush into or run into. It doesn't happen all of a sudden. You understand? You grow in love. You grow into it. So I find it difficult to believe that some guys just meet someone today and they tell you, guess what? I love you so much. No, it's a very powerful word. Love is a spirit. Christiana Rossetti wrote, who has seen the wind? In the literary sense, in the imaginary sense, the wind is love, because it can only be felt, it can't be seen.
Yeah,
you understand? So for every wind that passes by, you feel love in it. However, Some people have said that they've seen love in its tangible sense. Now, when love becomes tangible, when love becomes something you can touch or you can see, will now be in the human, the display of that expression.
Yeah.
Oh man, these two are in love. Now I've seen love today. Love lives between these two. You understand? Amongst these two. That is only when two people exhibit it. But when you are trying to catch it, you're trying to catch the feeling, you're trying to key into the feeling, it's not something that happens suddenly.
So there's nothing like love at first sight.
So in my dictionary, it is lust at first sight because something attracted you to that person. Oh, I love that guy's smell. That's you lusting after that. You understand? That smell. The day that person comes with armpit smell,
Oh boy.
You were on.
you will leave him. So, oh, man, see the dentition. Let a bike knock the lady down and she loses two of her teeth. You will begin to set in with hatred. You understand? So, I am saying that you lost at first sight, but love
Grows. It's a layer of different
exactly.
feelings.
So, forget it. That woman is not in love with two men. She's lusting after one and loving the other. Most likely, she's even lusting after both. Maybe lusting after the other person's money and attention, and lusting after the sexual satisfaction she's getting from the other person.
Now the question is, how do we help her? Because she's at the crossroads. Or
No, it's a guy.
How do we guy?
That guy,
Yes, how do we help the guy?
that guy doesn't need help. That guy needs scolding. There are some people you don't help at all. You know why? Because you've seen a red flag and you insisted on moving on. Your case is just like that fly that follows the casket into the grave.
So
You understand? So you knew that this grave is going to be covered up soon, and I feel I should just stay in there. So you just planned your own burial by yourself, your funeral by yourself. So I feel like he knew exactly that this is hammering against a brick wall. This lady has someone else. Why invest in it? You understand? Are you intending to? So you are manipulative to start with, because it is only a manipulative person that will want you to leave what you are enjoying for him. Do you understand? You know this lady is comfortable with this guy, and you keep pushing. You keep trying to. You understand? You're being self-centered. You understand? Consider the other guy too. If you were in his shoes, will you expect somebody to come rub off your love or rub your love away from you? You understand? So why don't you look out for somewhere else to love? It's unfortunate that the people we love don't love us in return. Some girl will be somewhere loving this guy in, also, and the guy is not giving attention. And you are busy hammering against a brick wall with somebody that already has a relationship. So the guy doesn't need help. I think it is a psychological problem that he has. He needs a therapist. He needs an attention.
Or maybe,
he needs a guardian.
It's a question of ego as a man. Like he's saying, what does this guy have that I don't have? Why would this girl say no to me and say yes to this man? Do you get? So
let me just come in here. At times the way the human mind works, something that appears, the girl is taking, and you know it. At times, something that appears like unreachable, that is what you want to go after. It does happen.
Like, so is it right for him to pursue a girl that is already in a relationship?
Just like some persons will wake up and they would determine to chase a married woman.
Yes. So that is it.
One has to be careful.
That is the truth.
No, one has to be careful, because in such pursuit, obsession sets in, and it becomes toxic and dangerous.
Okay.
A man who can hunt after something that is already taken has the tendencies of being obsessed with that thing. And once obsession sets in, such a man can go after the life of the other guy.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So we need to actually call a spade and not a big spoon. It is wrong to see something that is unreachable to keep hunting for it. You understand? You can't reach it. So don't convince that person. And sometimes the manipulative man will throw a woman off a balance and begins to doubt her sincerity to her own guy, her love, the genuineness of her love to the guy. So I won't blame the girl outrightly, because women are quite weak when it comes to attention. When a man begins to give more attention than the other person,
They
he begins
confuse,
to,
yes.
reconsider
Weakens
exactly. So because she's the weaker vessel, but then the strongest in its real sense, because we call them weaker vessel because we're in a patriarchal society. But in the real sense, women are stronger than guys. That's why if a man cheats once, if a woman is coming back with a return of it, it becomes a major problem in the town. You understand? The video that went viral about the man in Guinea, you understand? Some person said, oh, one man cheated, 400 women cheated.
Yes.
Do you get what I'm saying? So you think you're strong, they are stronger. You think you can actually play the game, they play it better. Do you understand? So, but women have the tendencies of overlooking things and forgiving you easily, but men don't. There are several things we have done to women that if they do it to a man, the man will never forgive the woman. But this woman keeps moving on. That's why I say to women, don't bother yourself about a man. Don't kill yourself. Don't hit yourself too hard. The only woman that knows the whereabouts of her husband is a widow. That's the only person that can say, yeah, my husband is down there in the grave. So as long as the man is living, let him go. Life, they say, is touch and go. Some people you know today will come and go. But those who find you special will find a way to stay. So if that man finds you special, the man will return to his senses and will come back. There is no point going to one Baba to start saying, I want to keep my husband down. No amount of style you learn. If you like, go and give him sex in the ceiling. He will still go out. You understand? But just, hold yourself together. High inclusive. Hold yourself together. As long as God lives, you understand, that man will trace his track back home. There's no point killing yourself for it. So for that guy, I think that guys need immediate intervention. He needs a therapist. He needs a counselor to let him know that your investment is wrong. And we can also relate that into the business sense. You understand? You see some people investing in a particular business that is never going to boom. And they keep pushing hard into it. And by the time you go down to 0.0, you start blaming yourself. Why did I invest in it in the first place? Did you check? Did you look out for visibility study? So there is a woman who sells beside another woman. And on the big gutter, there is a tiny plank that leads into a shop that can easily force someone off. And the other woman puts a very wide plank on hers. Now you are running after your pastor to pray that you're not selling, but your problem is right before you. The tiny plank is the only thing you should have changed because nobody will come patronize you knowing they can fall off into the big gutter. They rather go to the place that has a spread, a spread of wide, range of plank. You understand, platform. So sometimes our problems are not spiritual. The solution to our problems are not in the hands of our pastors. We just have to sit down and look within and see the wrong things we're doing. So that guy needs to talk to himself and know that he's hammering against a brick wall. He's doing the wrong thing because some girl might be somewhere and he's not seeing her as the Mrs. Right.
Because he has his eyes
set somewhere else. So it's a problem, a big problem. And most people
have let me come in here. I'm also thinking that this guy may actually be battling with self-worth too. At times we think that it's only women that have that issue. Because it's like, some guys, they like when a woman is needy, it makes them feel masculine, macho. When they are there, damsel in distress, they are there to deliver, because from the girl had issues, he went there to comfort her.
The prince in
yeah. So don't you think that he may have a problem with self-worth that is like, thank God this one needs me now. So because he needs me, now he go be the one.
So play this scenario. Some guys might do it, haven't made love, they made out. So tell me which is sweeter. Oh, my other guy is sweeter. And this guy's self-esteem is tampered with. Yeah. And he's running after it and say, I will prove a point to you that I'm better than that guy. Yeah. So sometimes ladies don't even know where they get it wrong. You understand? So you say things to men that trigger them more to want to push further. More. You understand? They want to push further. Sometimes just let them know their place. Yo, guy, I can't do this with you. I can't do this and I can't. But you're going because of the peanuts you're getting from him. Some girls, if you ask some ladies, they have way over 5 guys that serve different purposes.
Yeah. Yes.
One buys them lunch. The other one takes them to the club. The other one gives them money.
They even store their names on their phone based on what they get. One is recharge card. One chewing gum. One is lunch.
So it's a major problem. Now, let us use a case study with the man in Guinea. You understand? If you do a study of his video, you will understand that there's this self-excitement that comes in his expression, such as proving a point that I am stronger than you imagine. You understand? Oh, you think I'm an old cargo? Let me prove it to you. And in the midst of it, he's hearing the sound of the other lady and he goes like, yeah, that's it right there. I am strong. You understand? Because you will not tell me that as a woman, you have no idea that this guy is doing all these things with any other woman. You understand? For a man that comes with the proposition of let us record ourselves, did you pause to take a moment to say, okay, why is he recording me in the first place? Is it because it's fetish or anything? So this guy is not even involved in whatever sexual moment he's having with these ladies. There is this level of detachment. So he detaches himself from whatever fun he's having with them. If you study the video keenly, and the girls are just the one getting the satisfaction because there seems to be a dare. Like, I dare you to satisfy me. And the guy goes like, I will satisfy you, but I'm not involved in this. He's not involved with them. You understand? They are the ones involved with him, but he is detached totally. So sometimes women will have to understudy this and understand that it is not everyone that professes love to you that genuinely loves you. You need to read beyond the words. You understand? It's in the eyelid. Sometimes the man is giving you that expression. So you go out and this man is constantly looking at other women. You understand? You should know that by nature, if you had left that spot at that point, that guy would have collected the number of the other woman. Because there is a sense of interest in the man that does not align with you at that time. He is just promiscuous by nature, and because we are in a patriarchal society, the man feels like I'm the alpha, I am dominating you. So you have no right to checkmate me. You have no right to ask me why I do this. In fact, some men are the ones that propose, you understand, some certain level of orgasm, some certain level of, some call it, I can mention it, 2-some, 3-some, 4-some, or whatever some they call it. You understand? And the lady agrees to it. So you are agreeing to it because you feel like you want to, you want to make him feel satisfied, but that is going to be his life even after then.
So he's the one that is getting all the satisfaction, not you.
So this guy is not loving this girl. He's only trying to prove a point to her.
Lanre, before we continue, let's quickly go on a short break. Welcome back from that break. Lanre, there's this question. Why would anybody consider a relationship his or her last hope?
Okay. Everyone needs companionship. Let's use the creation of the world as an example. At a point, the first man created based on some religion. Some people will tell you that's not the first man created. But from the one I understand from the Holy Book, Adam, there was a request for companionship. You understand? It is the hope for recreation. It is the hope for reproduction. So relationship is a design by God that two people, opposite sex,
must come together.
In quotes, must come together to reproduce. So there was a time Adam requested for a companion. That seemed to be his only hope. But you see, the essence of relationship had only been defeated. That is why we have more broken homes than single lives. We have more single parents out there than married parents. Perhaps by statistics, I do not have a factor, so I can't put a number to it. But I can tell you that in a week, I've met more single mothers than I've met married mothers. You understand what I'm saying? Bad. So it's that bad. So relationship can be a man's last hope, depending on the situation that he has found himself. Sometimes we are like the echo from the lagoon and nobody is there to listen and hear us out. Sometimes we all just need that person to cry on, some person to share ideas with because we are afraid to run by ourselves. Johnson MD wrote, Who Moved My Cheese is one of the authors of 1 Minute Manager. Who Moved My Cheese is a story of the mouse and the human. And they were all looking out for cheese stations. These mouse were quite smart and they kept moving on after each station. They kept moving and they never threw their running shoes off. But you see, the men, they saw the cheese station that was filled with cheese and they felt so comfortable and relaxed. And they feel like this is where we are having it all. So they saw the cheese station, and they had a lot to themselves, and they felt this is where we're having it all. So because they saw the amount of cheese in the station, they threw off their running shoes and they kept eating while the mouse kept moving. Now they ate and were not paying attention to how much they've eaten, and the cheese were reducing. A financial example is when you have $1 million in your account, something pushes you to withdraw 100,000. And you have the hope that I will make 100,000 by next week and return back to 1 million. The moment you withdraw 100,000, you go like, I can still take 20.
Yes.
I think I'm expecting 200. I will just put back 120 and hold on to 80. Then you now realize that your 880 is no longer a round figure. And you go like, let me take the 30 on it. It will be 850. Very perfect figure. You take 30. And some story tells you 200,000 is what you're expecting. Is exactly 200,000 to 1 million. Take the 50 on it, then you have 800. So that's the way the human mind seems to be programmed. And people can testify to that. And before you know it, you will not know when you will hit 100,000. And you keep going and your 200 will never come.
But
and that person keeps, procrastinating the transfer of the 200,000. That was the situation of the human. So one morning they got there and they were out of cheese. And in their head, someone moved it. They've thrown away their running shoes. So now this is where friendship, relationship, and companionship comes in my analogy. Now, one of them was afraid to run alone. He had the interest to run, the urge to run. But the other person keeps pulling back and saying, no, the cheese will come back. Let's wait more. Let's wait one day more. And the fear of moving became the talk of the moment, until the day one of the human laughed at his own folly and said, you're just a fool. Why are you banking on this person? Move and let him read the statement at every station. That was how he started moving. And by the time he gets to a new station, he sees the mark of the mouse having left some leftovers behind. And he will write, if you never moved, you will never discover new cheese. Then he will move to the next station. He gets to the next station, just when you discover the previous one, there is a bigger one waiting for you only if you keep moving. So he kept writing different journals so that one day, if the other one decides to move, he can read that as a guide. Until he moved to the final station where there is an unlimited amount of cheese. He met the mouse there. From their tummy, you can tell that these ones have been there for long. So, should relationship be your last hope in this analogy? No. Every man has been given the liberty to run by themselves. That is why we're all created uniquely. The day I was born wasn't when you were born. I was born of a different birth canal. You were born of another. So I cannot bank my hope of survival just on you, because I came with a surviving spirit on my own. So because I came on my own with a surviving spirit, I cannot let relationship determine me. If I get defined by relationship, the day the relationship messes me up, I lose my life. Hence, some people commit suicide.
Yes, that was the case like that.
Because they have capitalized totally on that relationship, and they feel that relationship is all that can happen to them. The same thing happens in business. You cannot keep your hope on men. Men will fail you.
Yes, sir.
They will definitely fail you. So I will not agree to the fact that relationship should be the last hope of man.
Hey. It could be a state of mind.
State of mind. No. So I tell people something. The day you start to fail is the day you tell yourself you are a failure. It is not when people tell you you have failed. You only start to fail when you convince yourself on the inside, self-conviction that yes, I'm a failure. But as long as you still believe that you're not a failure, you're never. Besides, failure is part of the plan and the highway to success. If you have never failed before, you will fail eventually when you are successful, and such failure, you will never come back because you've never learned the track of coming out of failure. So sometimes when you have failed before and you become successful, you would have learned how never to fail again.
Yeah, but for time I would have said, Lanre, keep preaching.
I actually enjoy.
But I would like to say this also, that this guy could think that this is his last hope, maybe because he must, like you talk about failure, he must have been toasting women and none has ever given him as much attention as this particular.
An example, you've seen Wura series. Do you think Percy was Olumide Kuti's last hope? No, Rambo. That's what he feels. He feels his only hope was to commit crime. The only hope for getting greatness and taking his family out of Ikperindo was to go and, hijack cars. You understand? But that's not it. So Rambo keeps leading him into trouble. Same as Percy. Because he has banked his only hope for survival on that relationship. Yeah. So no, you need to have a self-consciousness that you are born uniquely and you can achieve success on your own. So no man, the man who, okay, so an example is Alexandra's. Alexandra's only hope was not on relationship. So Alexandra's retired from the United States Army at the age of 60, right? And he went into the kitchen. That's the one who created burger. We all eat burger today, but burger started from him. He went into his kitchen and remembered the recipe, the bread and egg recipe that his mother taught him. And you had a bite that day, haven't added tomatoes and onions, and it was a different taste entirely. And he said to himself, "Can't I prepare this from the scratch?" Then he got the flour and prepared from the scratch and all that, and he got the rounded shape and all that. He had a bite, lovely burger. And the first person he introduced that to was his bank manager. And that one was like, "Oh, rubbish, your mates are professors in universities, you're here carrying bread around." He went to the 101st person, which was Kentucky. The 101st person was the one who bought into his idea and said, "Yes, indeed, this is a fantastic idea." And we have the KFC today. So I am saying to you that those relationships, over 100 relationships failed him. What if he had banked his hope on the first relationship, which was his bank manager? He would have just withdrawn. And so that's why I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying that may be the reason. That may be the reason.
Like from what Lanre is saying now, he clearly shouldn't have made this.
He shouldn't.
He shouldn't.
Yeah.
So he could have just picked up himself. He should just pick up himself and move on, because he's clearly taking.
Do you know that really? The reason why some people tell you no might just be because there is a bigger yes waiting for you somewhere.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
You understand? Do you know how many no's I've gotten from auditions? Okay, let me cite an example and I'll say this very quickly. The Johnson series. At the time, I used to suggest casts and give them actors. So I've been on the Johnsons for a role, Mumuni. Then a friend of mine came back from service and she was a line producer and she sent me a script for Wasiu Wakanaki. But then the character name differs from the one I've played before, and I said, "Sorry, I've come on the Johnsons before and I've played this role." And he said, "Oh, Lanre, yeah, Mr. Charles just said that now. Please, can you get me someone that can actually deliver the role?" And I said, "Yes, I have a friend, a very close childhood friend, Oriyomi Joseph." And I told Oriyomi, "You are going for this shoot. I'll be there with you. Please, if you can deliver it as a day player, the writers can begin to write you in." And lo and behold, this guy is a fantastic actor, and he delivered. And the writer started writing him in. That is the Wasiu Wakanaki that says, "One in, one out. Shine your star." So he got the role, and so he became the star on the show. So one day, I went to my son's school for a carol service, and he went with me. And the kids were like, "Wasiu Wakanaki, Wasiu Wakanaki." And they were giving me phone. I said, "Sir, please, can you snap off?" So now, the human thought in my head was like, that should have been my role. If only I had not played Mumuni. Did you get it? But I had no idea that there was a 2 years after waiting for me for a bigger deal. If I was to have been Wasiu Wakanaki then, I probably wouldn't have backed the role of Olumide Kuti. So, because it's the same production company, they wouldn't want to take a key actor from a show to go and play another key role in another show. Then Wura came on board and I played Olumide Kuti. And now I hit stardom too.
Yeah.
We will both go out and they will snap with both of us. Most likely first recognition because my show is most recent. You understand? And so, haven't I got a bigger yes?
Yes.
So I tell people, your failure is just a propeller for greatness. It doesn't mean you should beat yourself down or kill yourself over it. So your no should be celebrated for the yes that is yet to come.
Yes. Well,
it's been an amazing episode. I've not even said much on this show, but
I'm wowed. Lanre, you wowed us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Very, very interesting.
Thank you for granting me your platform.
And thank you for accepting, in spite of our hiccups yesterday.
Okay. The no of yesterday
They
gave
became
a bigger yesterday.
yes.
You see?
Thank you. I've learned a lot.
Thank you so much.
I've learned a lot. Thank you so much for those words.
Yes.
My
uncle.
With the beards. So I really enjoyed myself. I had a nice time. I mean, I'm sure the guy that we talked about today also didn't need us to give him an advice. He has also learned a lot.
That's right.
So thank you so much for the wisdom that you brought to the table.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Worried Man, you have your answer. Well, we have come to an end of this wonderful, wonderful episode. And I will call Moji.
Well, we would like you to drop your opinions in the comment section. And Collins, do you want to add?
We would always ask you to follow us on all social media platforms, like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. We would appreciate it so much.
And remember that a problem shared,
it's a problem solved.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us in your space. Until next week, have a wonderful time.